Hey everyone, and welcome back to Accountability Mentorship. I'm your host, Michael Fields, and today we're going to be talking about what excuses we make. And we all make excuses for something. So the first question I want you to ask yourself is, what excuses do I make to keep me from succeeding? And this kind of ties into the comfort zone kind of thing. What comfort zones and excuses am I making that are putting me in the dumps, are keeping me from succeeding to the point where I could be making a living doing what I love? And when it comes to excuses, our mind, what it's meant to do is, we're kind of in survival mode. We're human beings. So what happens is our brain is meant to teach us to just survive. But in our society, survival is pretty easy, and it depends on what country you live in, obviously, but survival is pretty easy. So we've constantly got to override our brain to tell it that we need to tell our brain to shut up sometimes, because what our brain does is it puts us in that comfort zone of just surviving. So every time we fail, and every time we get off track, and every time we don't succeed, our brain says, oh, well, that's the comfort zone. That's the excuses. That's what we're going to go. We're going to go towards the excuses in the comfort zone. So why aren't we telling our brain to shut up? You know what I mean? Like, why are we letting our mind control the outcome of our success and happiness? We need to do what we can to tell ourselves every day to get outside of our comfort zone, to do something different with our lives. And why are we letting failure dictate our success? Because failure is just a form of growth. So every time we fail, why do we flock back to the things that are easy and back to our comfort zones and our excuses? Why don't we just say, hey, if I fail, I fail. If I succeed, I win, So let's ask ourselves that question too. What can we do to tell our mind to shut up? And what can we do so that when we hit those failures, that we're prepared? We're prepared not only to move on from our failure, but we're also prepared to stay out of those comfort zones and stay out of those excuses. You don't become successful unless you fail multiple times. Now, yeah, there is some rich people, some millionaires out there that got money from their parents, but there's also a lot of millionaires that started with less than you got, less than you have. I know millionaires that has started out as, kind of like what I did back in the day. When I was 16, I got a job at Walmart making $3.40 an hour as a cart pusher. $3.40 an hour. That's ridiculous, isn't it? But that was minimum wage, or like $4.30 or something like that. So, don't ever think that, I'm going to be a million overnight, because it doesn't always happen. Some people get lucky, they win lottery or whatever. But, failing is okay to succeed. And it's okay to do that, because you need to build a base. You need to build a strong base. And by doing this, it's going to help you succeed in the long run. We just need to make sure that we don't look at failure as, oh my God, I failed. I can't do this. And you beat yourself up. When you fail, you just need to know that, hey, I failed. This is my form of growth. This is what I'm going to do better next time doing. And then keep going. The path to success is not doing the same thing over and over again, but changing minute things to fix the business or fix, your success, and move on from it. So some other questions I want you to ask yourself is, what kind of personal growth is happening for me? Because when we stop personally growing, that's when we go into those comfort zones and when we make those excuses. So your question you should ask yourself is, how can I personally grow? And you could do this, you can ask this by, you know, providing self-development material for yourself. Like, how can I personally grow? The next question I have for you is, what excuses are you making that are holding you back from succeeding in your life and business? Excuses like, oh, I'll read that book another day, or I'll just reschedule so I can go do something fun instead of providing for my customer. Are you, by saying those things, are you making yourself accountable? Are you keeping yourself away from those excuses so that you can provide for your customer? Or are you making excuses just to kind of get out of talking to your customer, and in turn you're ruining your business, right? In what ways, by making excuses, are you ruining your life and ruining your business and customer base? Just ask yourself that question. In what ways am I making excuses that's preventing me from succeeding? And it could be anything from, oh, I'll work out tomorrow. I'll be healthy tomorrow. Or I'll start reading books tomorrow. No, we need to take accountability and start today, man. Like, for real. Speaking to everybody, we all need to start now. If you can't tell yourself, no, we're going to start today, then maybe you have a bigger problem. Maybe you have the problem as your mind is running your life. It should be the other way around. We need to tell our mind what's going to happen. So I'm going to have a little challenge for you to do this week, along with a couple to-do questions and tasks. First thing I want you to do is, every time your brain says no, such as, like, I know it's winter right now, but you see that the grass needs cut, and your brain says something like, no, you're not going to go cut the lawn. Go cut the dang lawn right now. Or, no, I don't want to take a cold shower right now. Take a cold shower right now. You need to get over that little hump of your brain telling you what to do. Because your brain's going to tell you to be lazy. Your brain's going to tell you what it needs to do to survive. So what you need to do is physically tell it no. And it sucks, because when you tell your brain to shut up, there's a lot of different things that you got to do. And part of it is being accountable by just doing the opposite of what it tells you to do right now. So, like, saying such in the morning, you go, for me this morning, it snowed, right? So I went outside, started my wife's car, and my brain said, no, don't shovel that walk. What did I do? I immediately walked into the garage, got the damn shovel, and I got a big driveway, but I shoveled most of it. And then but I did what my brain told me not to do. My brain told me to go back inside, drink a hot cup of coffee, and just sit down. You don't need to shovel that sidewalk or the driveway. You don't need to do that. I did exactly the opposite of what it said. And that's, I've been doing this challenge also for cold showers every single day. And every single time my brain says, no, you know what, you don't need to take a cold shower today, I keep telling myself, well, I need to hold myself accountable. And by taking the cold shower, if I skip one day, I've got to restart. So that's also my motivation. I don't want to restart my cold showers for the rest of the month. But you need to tell your brain what to do. And I know you know the term STFU. You need to tell your brain to shut the fuck up. Okay? Excuse the content, but you need to tell your brain what's going on. Okay? The next thing I want you to do is, I want you to find out what excuses you can live without and get rid of them. By doing this, I want you to think about the way you talk to people in your everyday life. I want you to challenge yourself through every conversation to find the excuses that you're making. And this may be uncomfortable for some people, and I get that, but maybe other people need you to listen to them in their life and stuff. So when they invite you out for a dinner or they invite you to go do something and you say, no, I just want to go relax at home. Maybe you could step out and be a friend to somebody, you know what I mean, kind of thing. The biggest thing right here is you need to find out what excuses you can get rid of on a daily basis. If you could tell yourself that, you know what, I'm not going to go home and sit on the couch and watch the boob tube, or I'm not going to go at home and go to sleep right away. You could provide so many more hours in the day to go work out and do self-motivation material and go to functions and go to meetings with people. You know, if you can just get rid of some excuses, how successful do you think you could be? So those are the two things I have for you to do this week. Hold yourself accountable is the first one. And tell your mind to shut up. Do those uncomfortable things. Do those things that are going to make you grow in all aspects of your life. Every time your brain says to do something or to go sit down and not do something, do the opposite. Do that task. And the second task, again, we need to find out what excuses we're making and get rid of them on our daily basis. The less excuses we have, the less comfort zones we have. The less comfort zones we have, the more successful we will be. That's all I have for you today. Thank you again for joining the Accountability Mentorship podcast. And if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. And if you know anybody that might like this content, please share this with them also. Once again, thank you for joining me. Remember, change yourself and find your purpose so that you can change the lives around you through your passions. Have a great week.